Hey guys, it's Magda. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build. So, today what I am building is a beach vacation house, I believe is what I ended up calling it, in the world of Brindleton Bay. I was actually really inspired by a video that I saw over on Griphy's channel. I would link it down below. I highly recommend checking her videos out. She's super creative. She's actually my favorite sim YouTuber on here. Highly recommend her videos. Very inspiring and very creative. Go ahead and check them out down below. But yeah, so I was really inspired by her latest build and I wanted to create something of my own as well. And just kind of having in mind that this is a vacation house, maybe like an Airbnb house, um, and I didn't clutter it too much. I wasn't really thinking about the people that live inside of this house. Again, I was kind of thinking Airbnb or rental property, or even just a vacation house that they have and, come visit when the seasons or the weather permits. I really enjoyed making it. And from the outside, I actually did struggle a little bit when it came to the outside. I didn't want to go with my typical light colors. I normally do like for beach houses, I'll do a very light color outside and just very light brown wood tones. So I kind of wanted to think more of like cabin or cottage, beach style kind of, and just have darker color schemes. And I feel like there's a good contrast because I do end up bringing that into the inside of the house, but a lot of the furniture ends up being on like the lighter tones. So I feel like it kind of meshes pretty well. And I do end up changing the outside. That darker blue ends up being a lighter blue towards the end of the video. But I was really pleased with how it came out. And here in the back, I was thinking maybe adding like a pergola. I wasn't really liking the ones that came with, I wanna say, the wedding pack. I forget what it's called, but yeah, I wasn't really, liking it, so I ended up making my own, and I wanted to make sure the outside was how I wanted it before I moved on here to the inside, so I do go ahead and tackle the floor plan. It was kinda tricky at first, not sure why. I feel like I was trying to have, like, an extra room upstairs, and I feel like the thought of only having 2 for some reason, I was trying to squeeze in just additional room that I didn't have upstairs, but I feel like overall it came out pretty nice, because I do have 2 bedrooms and a bathroom upstairs, and then there's a full bathroom downstairs as well. I was actually quite pleased with it because I feel like it's pretty realistic whenever you do go and rent these properties out, especially families with kids, you might squeeze in, several of them like in one room, especially if there's bunk beds and stuff. So I feel like that's pretty realistic. In that bedroom, I do have a bunk bed, and then on the bottom bunk is actually like a full size bed. So yeah, so thinking with the idea of not having Sims actually live here and just playing with the thought of them, just using it as a vacation house. So, I really enjoyed that idea and I am jumping into the decor now. So, I am really happy that I started off with the dining room, just because it kinda set the tone for the rest of the house. I knew that I was going into this build with making a beach house, but I wasn't too sure on how to go about it because originally I was gonna make a beach house, just, the tropical regular beach house, but again, really inspired by Griffey's video, and I wanted to kind of create my own spin to it. So, what I kind of envision this house to be is kind of like mm, the cottage and beach feel meets kind of the modern side, just a little bit, not with everything, like, I have, like, some, the modern lamps and, like, a glass table, so I don't know what style that would be exactly, but I feel like everything meshed pretty well, and it just had that beachy feel. I used a lot of cats and dogs and of course, island living and the horse ranch pack, surprisingly. All of those packs came in really handy for this build. But yeah, this front area pretty much came together pretty quickly. So I do move on to the kitchen here shortly, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. I feel like it was a perfect balance of not too cluttered, but you still have the supplies that you may need in whenever you're staying here. And again, having like the thought of the host leaving little baskets of little goodies, maybe snacks, or just things that you may need. I feel like we see that a lot with like Airbnbs, and I do that throughout the house. I want to say I do that here in the kitchen. I add it in the bedrooms for sure, and in the living room. So, again, I know they're not intended for that. But I really like the idea. But anyways, here I do use this backsplash for the kitchen. I really like how the blues broke up the repetitiveness from the wood on the countertops and the floor and the cabinets. So I really like how this kitchen area came out. I like the breakfast table that I added. I did want to add a lantern or like a little light feature on top of this table. But for some reason, I feel like it was clashing with the drapes that I had already placed there. So I just added a small plant, and I want to say that's pretty much it for the kitchen. I clutter up the countertops, just add a plant, a towel, some curtains, some wooden utensils to cook with. And I do add some clutter items above the fridge. Not too much though. I want to say they might be some spices. I know I add salt and pepper shaker here in just a minute, but I forget what I add on top of the fridge. I know it's just two things. I want to say it's those two baskets that I just placed there. Yep. Um, just extra supplies, having that in mind. Didn't want to clutter it too much. And I do add those fish around the place a lot. So I would not recommend having like a mermaid or anything like that living in this house just because from what I've seen in gameplay, they do not like that. But anyway, so I totally forgot to make sure the layout of the second floor was placed before moving on to the kitchen and like decorating. I always try to make sure that the both floors or both layouts are, finished before I actually start decorating just because there's been times where I forget and I things don't work out the way I wanted to. But thankfully, I remembered in this case and I fixed it. I went up there, make sure the layout was the way I wanted it to be, and then went back down to the living room and went on to decorating it. Something that I did kind of talk over was this, um, the little fish tank in that top corner of the staircase. I know it's not realistic because it'd probably be really hard to feed fish every day with it being up there, but this is The Sims, so I feel like it was a really good way to kind of incorporate the ocean into the house. But yeah, so I know it's not realistic, but it's okay. Anyways, I am finishing up with the living room here. I really enjoyed this shelving piece that I will add in just a moment underneath the stairs. I really wanted to use it because it had like the towels and I feel like things that you will need to stay here at the Airbnb. And I didn't know where exactly to put it. And I feel like it fit perfectly fine here underneath the stairs, so I kept it. And then another piece that I really enjoyed as well was this other shelf or not sure exactly what you would call it. But anyways, where I'm setting these towels at, I feel like it's a really nice idea because the thought of having, the family going down to the beach and just grabbing the towels there ready for you. Oh, loved it. Anyways, yeah, just finishing up here, the living room, I added those vases from Island Living, and I want to say the flowers that came from the horse pack. And I don't know, for some reason, like these packs just really, really mesh really well in this build. I feel like all the color swatches and everything just worked really, really well. and I switched out the shoes for the game boards. I feel like it's more realistic because probably like if you're staying at the Airbnb or like a rental place, they probably have like board games and stuff for you to use. Um but yeah, so I switched it out and then I go into the bathroom and I feel like the bathroom fits pretty well with the entire house. The color schemes and whatnot, pretty much the same. I feel like that's something that I really enjoy with these type of builds whenever I do have in mind that it's like a travel destination or like Airbnb, a rental place. I feel like I really don't have to think much about like the personalities per se and just kinda going with just one theme overall kinda makes things a little bit easier. So yeah, I did not spend a lot of time with the upstairs. I feel like everything came out pretty quickly. Again, not thinking about the personalities and just thinking about having a place for them to sleep on, just having a bed, and for it to still go with the color scheme from downstairs. So here in this primary bedroom, I opted out for this bed, and I feel like everything fit pretty nicely. I switched out the windows, and I want to say those came from the horse pack as well, and just added a plant. I want to say a lamp as well, or not, more plants. I know I do add like the little lanterns. I guess you can call them near that painting right here towards the end. Just added a rug and I want to say another plant. And I think that's it. I do move on to the bathroom, and the bathroom is very similar to the one downstairs. The only difference is I do add a shower tub combo just in case, you do need it for toddlers or pets. And I feel like even though this space is a little bit smaller, the upstairs is, I feel like there's space downstairs if you were to add additional bedroom, maybe making the living room a little bit smaller and just opting out for just one dining area, the one in the kitchen. I feel like it's, pretty spacious to add another bedroom if you like. But yeah, so I move on to the kids' bedroom. And I keep it very simple. I don't add any like toy boxes or anything like that. Just kind of keeping in mind that maybe the people that rent out this house originally, was a house that they lived in. Maybe they left some furniture pieces. And I've remembered that I did not add a bookshelf anywhere in this house. So I do add one here in this space. And that's why I feel like that was kind of my thought process that maybe, the people living here left some of the furniture. And I feel like this space was originally maybe an office or something like that. So they just left that in there. And I feel like there's space to add maybe a toy box or something for the kids. And switching out the ottoman, but I just really liked how the ottoman looked there, so I left it. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it for this space. I do move on to the outside here shortly and add the dining table down where the pergolas add a swing set, some twinkling lights, and I add the trash cans, of course, and I want to say that's pretty much it. So we are going to be coming here into the screenshots. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Leave any comments or suggestions that you guys may have down below. I appreciate that so much, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Hey, I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up. This old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. Where will you go? And won't you miss the ones you know? I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. I was hoping you would stay, but I've always known that you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, feel the wind and watch the river run. And the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. It's gonna cry, it's gonna cry. You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.